All right, folks, good evening, WNBA and women's basketball fans. Wheels up on a Monday night and back to normal here with Rio in the rearview mirror as of now, folks. Back to the more important discussion, of course, with the WNBA second half of the season getting underway this week on Friday. With that, folks, good evening, folks, and welcome into the WNBA 365 network. We're 24/7, 365. Comprehensive home for everything revolving around the WNBA and the rest of the women's basketball universe. Back with you, folks, after having the weekend off like normal. And, of course, folks, join the night in the hangout by the three-man panel tonight of Crystal Thomas and Tanisha Stewart, both up in Los Angeles. Callum McClure joining you, folks, here tonight from Studio 171 in San Diego for one of the final times here from our current studio location here in San Diego. KT and Shorty, good to see you guys. How is it going tonight? Good to see you.
Hello, hello.
Hey, hey.
Of course, folks, like normal, we'll take input from you folks tonight from via Facebook, via Twitter, and also via the live chat box. So hit us up over on Facebook at facebook.com/WNBA365, or hit us up over on Twitter at WNBA365, at Calimac3, at ShortyMamba24, or at Pup1010 with the hashtag WNBA365. Or if you are viewing us live tonight, folks, hit up the live chat box. We'll take your live discussion, question, comments, or concerns when we give ourselves a break in the action. Of course, guys, Rio in the rearview mirror. Now time to shift back towards the 2016 WNBA regular season. Games set to resume on Friday as players make their way back home from the Rio Olympics right now. But, guys, some news to get to, though, from our good pal David Siegel from Hoop Feed, who sent out a story today, guys, in regards to more arena shuffling, more so than team shuffling. But arena shuffling is the top story of the day in the WNBA and women's basketball world. The Atlanta Dream have announced via a press release today that they will be playing the next two seasons, 2017 and 2018, at the Hank McCamish Pavilion on the campus of Georgia Tech University. Atlanta Dream team officials announced on Monday. A quick comment from Mary Brock and Kelly Loeffler, the two owners of the Dream. They have said, quote, "We're excited to highlight the Dream's exciting style of play. The Georgia Tech's McCamish Pavilion, which is purpose-built for basketball and a tremendous fan experience. We will continue to deliver a great experience on the court while contributing to the greater Atlanta community." Close quote. The Dream will be relocating to the 8,600 seats pavilion as Phillips Arena will not be available over the summer, according to a report from the NBA's Atlanta Hawks and the arena itself. Phillips Arena will be undergoing extensive renovations during those 2 summers. In addition, any home playoff games played by the Dream will also be played at Georgia Tech, while there is major conflicting events or multiple conflicting events during majority of the 2016 playoff schedule. So again, it was also, folks, by the way, announced today as well to accommodate season ticket holders to get them ready for 2017 and 2018. And again, Shorty, of course, this has kind of been a talking point, though, many times, though, around this time of the year, every August, every September and October. We normally have bickered and talked about, again, teams moving their playoff games out of their home venues to accommodate either other events that will, of course, draw bigger crowds and money, or in this other case as well, again, renovations. Now, again, Minnesota will be doing this next year, folks, with, or at least for part of this year, they'll be moving their games to the Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul, the home of the NHL's Minnesota Wild, to accommodate renovations being done to the scoreboard over at Target Center. And, of course, Shorty, now we have Atlanta going back to Georgia Tech to accommodate renovations plus other events. So, again, Shorty, this is at least the third time I can count, also with Chicago relocating games last year from to the University of Illinois Chicago over at UIC. So, Shorty, what do you make out of this again that we're seeing for at least the third year in a row, a WNBA team or a couple teams having or being forced to move both regular season and playoff games for either 1 or 2 seasons for the future out of their home venues due to either renovations or other events being booked at their home arenas?
I mean, overall, I know it's a tough situation, for the fans when it comes to travel to, these other places and things like that. But sadly, it's just something that is going to continue to happen, in the WNBA. You talk about, other teams moving during playoff games, or either moving, to another arena for that season because of those renovations. Same thing happened a couple of years ago in New York where they had to move to the Prudential Center because, Madison Square Garden was also having their renovations and things like that. And of course, the two playoff games with LA when they had to move, for a convention. Batman Live, I think I'm still ticked off a little bit about that, but whatever. That's something that's in the past. But yes, of course, things like that always happen, and sadly, they're going to continue.
And also, Short, I think we should also consider, too, as well, that that a Lakers final series was also a reason why the Sparks had to move out of Staples Center, too, to a different location in Crystal. I know that you actually attended the LA-Minnesota Game 2 last season when the Sparks were forced to move from Staples out to the Walter Pyramid way down in Long Beach, California, which, of course, is pretty far to go from either San Diego or Los Angeles. But again, Crystal, so here we have seen, again, at least 3 or 4 different teams move venues, either to a college venue or another local arena, to sort of help out with either the booking problems with either concerts or other stuff going on over the summer, or in this case, arena renovations. And I can tell you folks firsthand, too, as Shorty alluded to, about the Libs moving to the Prudential Center, home of the NHL's New Jersey Devils in Newark, New Jersey. That MSG looks at least 10 times better now with the new renovation that they already did there. So I guess, Crystal, overall thoughts, again, about seeing yet another team being forced out of their home venue to, again, accommodate either renovations or even, as well, booking problems, too, with other events.
I mean, it does suck that, during renovations, the Hawks still get to play in Phillips Arena while, again, as I've said this before, they treat the WNBA teams as a ball-headed stepchild. But I guess it's okay for them to play in Georgia Tech. I mean, Georgia Tech hopefully will be a nice little area for them. Hopefully they'll have a lot of dream fans come out. Renovations, I would love to see what Phillips Arena looks like afterwards. Hopefully it will be much better than what it is now. I have never been to Phillips Arena, so I can't really, talk about what it looks like now. But, I mean, let's just hope it works out, because I'm pretty sure when you're used to playing in one arena and you have to go to a college arena, you have to get used to the rims. And even though that may sound stupid, I mean, rims in different arenas do change, and they can make a difference. Some are too bouncy, some don't bounce that well. So the fact that they're going to have to get used to everything again, I know Atlanta, the team is probably, as the actual players, they're probably disappointed, but hopefully it works out, and hopefully they'll be back in Phillips soon enough.
Visiting the chat box, folks, to the man in the box, and who you will see writing on the WNBA 365 Network website starting on Friday with game recaps, our good man Todd Mintz, who chimes in to say, ATO should look to play there permanently. It is sad to watch games with no fans at Phillips. They're one of the lowest fan bases in the entire league in Shorty. I think that we had probably talked about this too either last year or the previous year in regards to, again, the same problem again where, in some cities so far that you have not seen interest in the sport still, and again, as we've already talked about plenty of times, with it still growing and this and that and all this other nonsense that we've heard from either us on the panel or even from the league itself. Shorty, I know that right now it's sort of a experiment right now with the Wings playing at the University of Texas Arlington. Shorty, what do you make, though, about perhaps going for WNBA teams such as maybe Atlanta, maybe Connecticut, maybe some other teams to move to downsized arenas, maybe even college venues, to at least give it a try to see how it would work out for one whole season? What do you think and why?
I think many franchises are exploring the possibility. One of them currently is the Washington Mystics, who they're building a new, arena/gym, somewhere located in the DC area, and they too will downsize from the Verizon Center to that new arena. If I can recall, I think it hosts around 6K, in seating. So they're definitely building that project in DC, to ultimately move the Mystics.
Also, I will also mention, Shorty, it's about 5,000. It's actually going to be both a arena for the Mystics / Wizards practice facility, too, which is also going to be utilized by their NBA counterpart. And, of course, with the Mystics probably leaving, that will just leave the Verizon Center to both the Capitals of the NHL plus the Wizards of the NBA. But, again, Crystal, would you at least want to see some of these WNBA teams, Crystal, maybe like in Atlanta, like a Chicago, maybe like a Connecticut, probably try to go to downsized venues to just kind of, like a tutorial run to see how it would work, though, for maybe future use if, in fact, something like this does come up, either renovations to the arena or even other events coming into their main venue.
I mean, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I actually think that, like Todd said, there's a lot of teams that don't have a strong fan base, and I think, probably lowering the size of their arenas will probably help it out. It'll make them look better, especially when those games are on TV and national TV air. So I think it's not a bad idea. I mean, I think if they could find a cause that could accommodate the fans and the size that they want, I think it could work out fine.
By the way, Shorty, Todd thinks you're part psychic now because he says that Shorty just read my mind. Washington should do it. Also, like it is in MLS now, going to smaller size stadiums, it is working great, and more and more soccer teams are doing that as well. And by the way, quick comment from our good man as well, Eric Nimchok from Elmhurst, Illinois. He also says, "Proof that I'm watching. Hi, Crystal."
Oh my God. Hi, Eric. Go to bed.
And also, back to the chat box real quick. Todd also says, while we're at it, Seattle will be great at the Alaska Airlines Arena, which is home of the University of Washington. I think it's a great idea. It helps marketing and looks so much better. But Shorty, when you kind of think about, between Los Angeles, Phoenix, New York, I would even throw Seattle in there too, with them still playing, or at least half the league still playing in a NBA or NHL shared venue. Of course, LA has every major team playing at Staples Center, it seems like. But Shorty, I guess though, at this instance, just thinking of things real quick, but also real quick as well. One of our great followers, folks, that you will see on Thursday during our preview show, our other good man Steve Rice wants to say real quick, guys, money saved on arenas equals more money for players, ... question mark. So Shorty, we'll now ask Steve's question, but Shorty, what do you think though? Is money saved on arenas by WNBA teams when they move out, could that equal more money for players in your mind?
I'm not sure if it'll equal more money for players per se, but it will definitely cut down the cost, of teams using that venue. I know the LA Sparks do pay, AEG, pretty, good money to, play and book 18 games every summer, at Staples Center. So if they were to possibly move, of course it would cut down on some of those costs. Will that money eventually go to the players? That I'm not sure.
Yeah, when you have to pay Philip Onshewitz, the Lakers and Kings to use their venue, it's going to cost you some arms and legs as well. By the way, and again, Crystal, I probably would also say, or just, I guess, to re-ask Steve's question, he says, again, money saved on arenas equals more money for players, question mark. What do you think?
Like Shorty said, it'd be hard to tell. I mean, you would hope that it would give more money to the players, but at the same time, I mean, we all know how the WNBA is still a business. I mean, they were freaking out about T-shirts. They were trying to get money for people wearing black T-shirts. So it's like you can't really tell. I mean, you really don't know unless it was to happen. I guess we'll find out with Dallas and with ultimately Atlanta too, going to a college stadium. But at the same time, you still have to pay to play in the college stadium. So we'll see if the players itself would make more money off of that.
And also to go back to the chat box, and folks, we'll get back on track in just a moment here. But like Todd says, Steve, you are incredible. What an asset to the network. Looking forward to hearing him on Thursday. By the way, Shorty, one more question from the chat box. Todd says, should the Sparks perhaps consider Galen Center? And I know that they are pressing there right now, but if in fact they have problems at Staples Center during the playoff run, perhaps with either preseason basketball, preseason hockey games, maybe. Could Galen Center be their number one spot? And I believe it will be. What do you think, though, and why?
I definitely do. I think that's, a top option for them. There was actually talks of the Sparks possibly even moving to Galen Center when the ordeal, the team being, sold and everything. And when the owner left and they were in questionable. So that was one of the options.
So again, Crystal, again, probably in the likelihood, which is probably going to happen, but again, in the event of either something going on with either NBA or NHL going on, during the part of the playoff run for the Sparks, is Galen Center going to be their number one option for the postseason? I believe it's going to be since they practiced it, but what do you think, though, and why?
If push comes to shove and they couldn't be in Staples, I would hope so. I mean, I don't want to go to Long Beach anymore. That was a long drive. I mean, the Sparks are going to compensate me for that gas money that I spent. Where it's like USC is only like 35 minutes away, and Long Beach was a little bit longer. So I would hope so. I mean, if they had to do that, I would hope it'd be at USC. Because that's where they've been practicing. They're familiar with that place. But no more Long Beach because that's too far and ain't none of y'all paying my gas money.
I mean, I kind of wanted to move away from the top, folks, but hey, we got more and more questions. Shorty, one more from Steve Rice. How about Pauley Pavilion?
Pauley Pavilion. I think that will definitely be, another great option for them.
All right, so Crystal, also, how about Pauley Pavilion, too, perhaps for LA?
That would be even better because that's even closer, so that's less gas money for me and more money.
Either way, it's a long way for me to go, so I'll take any of the three as long as I can get to the game. Maybe minus Long Beach and Smog City, USA, but anything with that is possible. Going back to the box quick, folks, Eric says we'll try to make it on Thursday, and Todd says, well, awesome, Eric, should be a great show. Excited to see all these games crammed in over the final 3 weeks of the season. So that's going to be very fun as we get down to the home stretch of the 2016 WNBA regular season coming up soon. Now, Shorty, I guess kind of stay honest, but kind of move away from it, though, real quick. And I know that Crystal brought up a point, though, about the WNBA kind of being the ball-head stepchild. Crystal, there's one more league that even falls below the WNBA, and Todd and I know as well from working together, the Arena Football League, Crystal. Just kind of give you a heads up in there, Shorty. The LA Kiss, who play up at Honda Center in Anaheim, had to move their first ever playoff game in franchise history to no better venue than the Valley View Casino Center, right down the road, 3 miles away from me here, down here in San Diego. And sadly, it was, and I'm sure talking about it was not very full down here. So, Shorty, it's one thing, I guess, to move out of your home venue, but Shorty, could you consider or even see perhaps even WNBA teams moving to a whole nother city to play a playoff game, perhaps if in fact no arenas are available in their greater city limits?
That is definitely an interesting question. I'm not sure if they would do that unless somehow that franchise is also moved as well. So I really don't see it, but it could be another possibility for sure.
I mean, Crystal, kind of like, it's, I mean, I know that you said that the WNBA ball head stepchild. Crystal, I'm sorry, when you have to play at Honda Center, the home of the first ever California NHL Stanley Cup champions, the Anaheim Ducks, who have been a consummate winner, plus the Lakers play 2 preseason games there, and you have all these other events going on at Honda Center. I mean, they got booted out for the circus for their playoff game, and again, they went 80 miles down the road only because the Ducks and Gulls, the team I announced for in San Diego, have a relationship being the AAA team, and they came here. Todd says, by the way, he was there. Horrible crowd for the Arena Football game in there. But I guess, Crystal, kind of like, drastic times call for drastic measures. Could this even happen to a WNBA team moving to a whole nother city to play one playoff game, perhaps, in your mind?
Would you repeat that? You said, would they move to a whole other city?
Yeah, would they consider moving to a whole nother city limit to play a playoff game if, in fact, something like this ever came up again?
I mean, they kind of did. I mean, LA. I mean, you could technically say Long Beach is LA, but they kind of almost did that with the Spark situation. But I mean, I would hope they wouldn't have to, like Shorty said, but it's the WNBA, and we all know that sometimes things don't really go the WNBA's way as far as arenas and scheduling and conflicts like that. But I wouldn't be surprised. I would hope they wouldn't have to, though.
Whoa, man, Steve Rice, man, that's why I was making faces, folks. How about the Bakersfield Sparks? There is no way that I'd be driving to Bakersfield to see the Sparks play at Rabobank Arena. Plus, I already have a big enough problem with the Bakersfield Condors of the AHL because that's the Oilers affiliate, and the Gulls play them 12 times every year. Todd also says with Long Beach it would be a bit of a problem because I heard the configuration now has been redone for mostly trade shows that stay in LA. Todd, just to kind of clarify real quick, though, about that, again, LA played at Long Beach State, not at the actual Long Beach, the home of the former WCHL Long Beach Ice Dogs. They played at the actual college venue, not at the actual arena in downtown Long Beach. But again, folks, some news right there for you again. Atlanta Dream moving out of Phillips Arena for the 2017 and 18 seasons, again, due to renovations being done over at Phillips Arena for the 2017 and 2018 season, playing their games over at Georgia Tech University. With that, guys, glad to have them home, folks. But of course, Team USA back home after capturing their 6th consecutive Olympic gold medal on Saturday morning over here in San Diego. Again, Shorty, good to see good though to see the 4 players, at least the Lynx, put out some posts today about the Olympians returning home today. Got some word today as well, folks, for any of our friends that are going to the Mercury game on Friday. 2,500 DT bobbleheads for you with her gold medals and championship rings on her fingers. So, Shorty, players are back, getting themselves back to full strength. Shorty, it's been a long couple of weeks again to be gone from the WNBA salon, but Shorty, where is the excitement that we are getting back to action here on Friday for WNBA hoops?
Oh man, it is very exciting. Just getting hyped, thinking about it. Just resuming the WNBA schedule. Of course, watching the Olympic Games are fun and always exciting, not just when it comes to basketball, but seeing other sports. And finally, happy, for the WNBA to get back rolling, especially seeing, the incredible run that the LA Sparks have been on. And I definitely want to continue to see more of it.
So again, Crystal, we have rooted for everybody, whether it's players we love or players we despise on Team USA, but now it's back to normal on Friday. Crystal, how excited are you to get back to regular scheduled programming for the WNBA come Friday again?
I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what these teams have done during the Olympic break. I can't wait to see what players have improved. I can't wait to see what teams are going to dominate and what teams are pretty much going to stay the same. I'm just excited. I can't wait.
We, of course, folks, we're saving all of our bullets of course, for Thursday. Again, we'll have more about that momentarily. Again, guys, Todd, I want you guys to kind of briefly again comment about what do you think the future of the national team is going to be, looking at the roster likely for 2018 and 2020. Shorty, what are your thoughts again about where Team USA will be in the next 2 to 4 years? What do you think of why?
Well, I'm really not sure at this point. We do know that we have a lot of pieces for Team USA that is leaving. Catchings being one of them, Sue Bird, possibility, Simone Augustus, and Lindsay Whalen as well. So, we're not sure what's going to happen with that, but we do know that hopefully they inject some new blood somehow, and hopefully that blood isn't from UConn, but I doubt it. We bring in, some more younger guards possibly, and we continue, for Team USA to bring in, much more star talent, where their names like Agumake or even Parker will be on, will still be a question mark, but hoping to see more new blood with Team USA.
Here we go again. I'm just kidding, Shorty. Crystal, again, what do you think, though, in regards again? Todd, though, does bring up, though, saying with Diggins and Lloyd at the point, that would be a dynamic duo for Team USA in the future. Crystal, what are your thoughts, though, about where Team USA will be in the next 2 to 4 years and why?
I mean, it's hard to say, but there's some really good talent coming out there. Like Shorty said, there's a couple of young guards who I probably felt should have been on this year's team, but, that's neither here nor there. But there's going to be a lot of great talent coming in, especially at that guard spot. You have Lloyd and possibly Diggins, maybe even Tiffany Mitchell in there. Who knows? But it's looking really bright for Team USA. And if this young talent can get in there, right, and can you imagine, like, if they were in there this year, it probably would have been pretty scary. But it's just looking bright. You just got to wait and see.
Todd mentioned to say, folks, even with losing players, we will be better. And he says we really will be better as well. Getting back real quick, guys. Let's see. Eric Nimchok wanted to chime in as well and say, Shorty, how about Mo Jeff as well, perhaps for the next 2 to 4 years? What do you think?
In regards to Team USA?
Yes.
Hey, why not? I mean, she went to UConn, so she may have a leg up over other guards, even though names like Diggins, Tiffany Mitchell, as you brought up, and Odyssey Sims, another name that I think deserves a spot as well. But I say Mo Jeff's chances are very high.
Very high chances from Shorty about Mo Jeff. Crystal, what do you think and why?
I think she has pretty high chances, too. I mean, it would be 4 years from now. hopefully her game will be it will be a little bit better. I mean, Mo Jeff has a high ceiling, so I wouldn't be surprised.
A quick question from Steve Rice, guys. He says, "What are you guys putting term limits on our team? 2 to 3 gold medals and you're out." Shorty, what do you think about that?
No, there's no limits when it comes to USA women's.
No limit from Shorty. Crystal, what do you think? Again, are we putting players on term limits here? 2 to 3 gold medals and you're out. Is that it?
Nah, it's not that. It's just there's a thing called father time, or in this case, mother time. And mother time is coming at them knees. And once them knees is gone, I mean, it's over. So, I mean, it's not that no, Simone Augustus can't go back to another Olympics. So let's be real. Simone Augustus' body is breaking down, and she's probably – I give her probably a good 3 more years to play in the league. Do you actually think that her body will hold up for another Olympics? And it's not a shot. It's just it's the truth. Probably not. So I can understand what Shorty is saying by that.
Steve, there's a reason why I'm sitting in this chair and not playing or trying out for the USA baseball team in 2020 for Tokyo, because I had father time in my knees and in my back when I was 18. So there you go. It's why I'm sitting here now and not doing anything else at this point. Todd chimes in real quick just to say, not out. But we still have fouls in charge of center. They will be 32 and 31 years old. Most of the ladies will be in their 20s. You still have Maya Moore. I'm excited to see the team down the line and seeing what they will put up, though, in the future. Coming up very soon with that, though, guys. Getting back to touching base again, folks, WNBA schedule resumes on Friday. And, of course, guys, on Thursday, again, will be a very special early edition in some capacity. Again, the second half preview show, again, back here Thursday night at 7 o'clock Pacific time, confirmed and set in stone. 10 o'clock Eastern Time, folks. Going to be joined on that program again by Caleb Courtier, our man in the box tonight. Of course, Steve Rice, the Women's Basketball Daily. Mike Peterman will be joining us too after he gets done calling a Minnesota High School League soccer matchup from the land of 10,000 lakes. Also to be joined as well at this point, perhaps as well by Chastity Melvin will be joining, and also Steven Anderson from the Project Spurs Network, folks. We did, though, folks. Hear back today from Luciana Robinson. She is actually sadly unavailable to join us, though. But, though, did pass on a very, very heartfelt thank you for the invite. But Luciana cannot join us, though, on Thursday, nor can Anila Khan. We also both may be joined as well by Myron Crawford, and also we'll be joined, too, by former WNBA writer Pat Friday. So, again, Shorty, a pretty good little lineup here. And, again, Shorty, again, good again to be able to bring back all of the some of the brightest minds in women's hoops back together here on the network again at a 7 o'clock Pacific time start time. As Steve chimes in to say, it's going to be Steve Rice and his 65-year-old knees on the network on Thursday night. So, again, Shorty, again, how about thoughts again to be able to hear again from some of the brightest minds in women's basketball again back here on the main stage again of WNBA 365?
Hey, that is definitely a great lineup, for that show, in particular, and hopefully everyone, that is listed can and will be able to make it. Sadly, LaChina, couldn't make it, but I love the letter that she, sent to you, the email, giving, her heartfelt, wishes, and that was very big of her, and I definitely have a lot more respect for her because of it. She could have ignored your email or request or whatever the case may be, but for her to email you back and let you know that she couldn't make it, but she wishes you and the network the best. I mean, it is very big of her.
So again, Crystal, once again, a pretty star-studded lineup again. Join us again between Caleb and, of course, our buddy Steve Rice again, who says he's bringing his 65-year-old knees into the hangout on Thursday for the program again. And again, getting able to hear from, from seeing our good buddy again, Steven Anderson, again from Project Spurs. Also going to be able to hear from, perhaps from Myron Crawford as well sometime soon, along with Pat Friday and a lot of other great people. Eric Nimchok was also going to try to be aboard as well on Thursday. But again, Crystal, another great lineup again, and again, another hallmark show for the network again. Crystal, thoughts again about about another network mega show on Thursday night?
The mega shows always do well, so it should be fun. Hopefully there's no interruptions from my niece this time. Hopefully I'm about to go to sleep or something. But the mega show should be fun. Looking forward to it. That's all I really have to say about it, pretty much.
By the way, guys, to of course, Roy touch base again. We again reached out to LaChina Robinson again, who has done a phenomenal job this year again with adding on her podcast to ESPN's Pod Center. LaChina's message to me today, this was about 7:40 local time, but she says, hopefully this message finds you doing well. She says, want to thank you for so much for thinking of me and all that you do for women's basketball. Unfortunately, I am unable to be a part of the preview show this week, but please keep me in mind for future opportunities. Thanks again for all your support and have a great show. So again, Shorty, you touch base on it again. I send you guys the screenshot or at least send you guys her message. But again, I know I take a lot of credit to my job and what I do, of course, but Shorty, more so, I think she probably thanks all of us, though, for what we do here, because I know that, it is, I'm main guy here. I know a lot of people probably are sick and tired of me.
Oh, Callie froze.
He would freeze in the middle of asking a question.
Yes.
Or making a statement.
Hold on, everyone. He's probably trying to hopefully get his network back up, and he'll hop back in a few short minutes. At least it's not one of us this time.
Well, there it is.
Yep, he's about to get back on Google Hangout shortly.
This always happens. Like, we can never do a perfect show without any type of anything.
Interruptions.
Yeah, man. This I don't. It sounded like he was going to talk about LaChina Robinson. I think he was saying how it was in her good graces that she did reach out to us, and hopefully one day LaChina can come on. But unfortunately, she's a very busy woman. So
yes,
we do respect LaChina reaching out. We do respect LaChina coming back and messaging. She didn't have to do that, and that was very nice of her. So I don't know if you're watching LaChina, but thank you. But still awesome enough, and hopefully one day you will be able to get on one of these shows in the future, for the network in the future.
Most definitely. Any second now.
And he nah. I mean,
while we're waiting, he just sent me a link.
What's the link, Shorty? Since you have all the superpowers in your hat.
Is it a link to the show Hangout? Let's see.
Well, since Cal is gone, how about we do this? How about we make our second half predictions so far of who we think might be in or out of the playoffs? As far as start, the bottom, pretty much the bottom. What, 5? Because Seattle and Washington pretty much neck and neck. I say Seattle gets in. I don't think Washington has enough power to come back and beat. I don't think they have enough power to win the last remaining 10, 11 games for them. I say Seattle wins that and gets the 8th spot.
I definitely agree. You know, Washington has been sadly on a treadmill to mediocrity. I mean, they're up, they're down. Oh, I think we see them.
Folks, now you see why I'm going to be out of my house for 6 weeks so I can get some of this work done in here pretty much. But again, folks, again, I apologize for that sincerely. I'm sure I probably, not the first time I've been embarrassed on here, but, you know, hey, it is what it is, folks. But again, now you see why we are going to be getting into a brand new studio here in the next 6 weeks again at this point in time. But again, folks, no, Steve, in case you're wondering, no. There is no, the cable bill was paid already. It's just part of the problem is where I live. I'm kind of stuck in a canyon, so AT&T's a little bit spotty sometimes. But that's that, though, Shorty. We were touching base, though, a little bit about, again, sort of, again, not being able to get with China on at this point. But Todd, though, did say, though, while I was away battling the rats and mice and flies inside of the utility room here, LaChina is pure class. Now I'm convinced she will be on down the line. But again, Shorty, what is, I guess, that the message that she had sent to me, but more so to all of us again about her appreciation again for all of us coming here on our network though and doing our best to kind of, I guess, talk about the league in some capacity.
You know, as I was just saying, you know, I thought her email was very classy, very, very professional. It was very big on her part to, you know, give you a response, you know, the way she did. And it definitely made me become even a much bigger fan of hers.
Yeah, and again, Crystal, I know that was probably going to be, you know, probably the biggest fish in the pond for us to land. I know we got players on earlier on, but I guess, Crystal, I guess when you kind of read over that email, I guess, what were your thoughts, again, about seeing LaChina's response to not just me, but again, all of us, though, that are part of this?
I thought that was pretty cool of her. Like I said, when you were gone for like 10 minutes,